Mr. Wiggins?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 5-1 tonight. Next up, acceptance for second reading and adoption ordinance to pipelines for constricting and permitting pipelines in the city and repeal conflicting inconsistent ordinances. We have a motion maker or seconder or discussion on the pipeline ordinance. Mr. Tistel.
I move that we adopt the pipeline ordinance.
Okay, with what changes to the pipeline ordinance?
Those that were recommended by Mr. Kokendorfer.
Okay, and I believe, did Mr. Starren have one as well?
On the pipeline ordinance, I have some definitional things, capitalizing all the P's and in pipelines. There was also a change on my page 6, paragraph K, where we insert city regulated in front of pipeline. And then I believe Mr. Kokendorfer also added a second sentence to that. And then there was one change, I believe, by Mr. Hetrick on page 7, section 94-205, paragraph B, where in the second line of that, he asked to substitute the word immediately for the phrase as soon as practical, and also to strike the word cities before 911.
Excuse me, Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Just a point of order. My prior motion was intended to be as to both ordinances.
I think we have to take one at a time, I believe.
Okay.
That I thought it was too, but we were corrected that we need to, for Legistar purposes, to do them separately.
Okay. All right. So the changes in the prior motion were actually asked to the pipeline ordinance, not to the well site ordinance.
No, the other way around. The changes were to the oil and gas ordinance made by Kokendorfer, Hetrick, and Starren.
Just to jump in, I think for the oil and gas well ordinance, the only changes I think we're making were the ones that Mr. Starren had read. And then I suggested changes to the pipeline ordinance.
Correct.
Okay. I believe it's oil and gas ordinance adoption now. I don't know how we can take them both at the same time. I mean,
I don't think you need to take the vote at the same time. I mean, I think you just clarified, and then there's been a motion made to adopt the pipeline ordinance with the changes. I think you have that on the table before the council right now.
right, we have a motion by Tisdale. We have no support yet, but yeah, this is for the pipeline ordinance.
Support. Support.
Okay. Okay, motion by Tisdale, supported by Kokendorfer. Okay. Discussion on the pipeline ordinance. Okay, I guess I'll share my opinion on this one. I think, again, this one I do not support as well. I think requiring of a permit before someone knows where what they're doing and where they're going is wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. For this, that's part of this ordinance. Requiring a utility to move at the whim of the city or 4 votes of city council is absolutely wrong. I think that's inaccurate. Should not be in this ordinance. The 1,000-foot setback for the pipelines, understand the purpose, but I think again it drives pipelines not being the usage to convey oil and gas should it be found out of the city and moves it into a truck to be traveled over the road. And I think that's not the right thing to do. The guarantees that we have in the back, the performance guarantee, you know, I don't understand how the value is going to be determined or what the value is. It seems very open-ended. I think something like that, that's open-ended like that, again, I think attorney would have a field day and have that tossed out, which then would invalidate the ordinance. But again, I'm a realist, and reading the tea leaves, it's going to pass without me. So, with that, we have a motion by Tisdale, supported by Kokendorfer. And so we'll have a roll call vote. Yes vote in support of Mr. Tisdale for the pipeline ordinance.
Vice President Tisdale.
Yes.
Mr. Hedrick.
Yes.
Mr. Kokendorfer.
Yes.
Ms. Marita.
Yes.
Mr. Wiggins.
Yes.
President Hooper.
No. That passes 5-1. All right, thank you very much on that.